What I want to do now is I want to dive into the documents themselves. How to use the documents is critical for you to be a good facilitator. We're going to look at the documents for the agendas, documents for the notes, and then how to facilitate with them in different scenarios. First thing to do is to always create a little bit of chit chat at the very beginning. In a good 1 hour meeting, 1 to 2 minutes of chit chat on the front end, 1 to 2 minutes of chit chat on the back end is very healthy. Second thing you do is you confirm the agenda. All right. And this could take 5-7 minutes, but those first 5-7 minutes clarify what the next 50 minutes are going to be like. So you want to confirm the agenda rather than just diving into the document. Then what you want to do is you want to be strict to the time markers. It gives you a sense of not only boundaries, but it gives you a handle on how to make sure we move the meeting along. And you got to just be able to take a look at the agenda and realize, wow, we got a 45-minute meeting. We got a lot of topics. Then to actually dive into the discussion themselves about the topics, I'm going to ask you to use the Z model and the disc wheel. We'll cover that in just a few minutes. So humans tend to be talking about 3 or 4 different things. Like if you're at a restaurant and you look across the restaurant and you see what people are talking about, or you hear, or you see body language, you can pretty much that human beings are always in one of these modes. Mode number 1 is, hey man, how's it going? Okay, that kind of conversation. How you been? The other mode is, hey, did you hear that Rebecca was pregnant? Oh no, I didn't know that. Yeah, she's gonna be taking maternity leave. And oh, that's wonderful. Okay, good. But kind of like an announcement. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and hey, listen, I'm gonna be taking some time off in August. Announcing things to each other. Then the other mode is this one. Whatever happened to selling of the car? Oh yeah, I need to talk to you about that. Okay, so what happened with the car? And boom, all of a sudden now we're generating a 5-minute discussion about the car. So that one's different than the first modes that we talked about earlier. The first one's more of, hey, what's been going on? The second one is just kind of announcing things to each other. The third mode is, hey, where are we with specific things? What happened to the car? Are we gonna purchase that for the new fleet, or are we not gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? Kind of what happened to a specific petition? Those are 3 different modes. Another mode is this. Can I run something by you? Is it okay? Let me run something by you. In the lobby area, I think that we need to do a little bit different placing of the furniture. And I tell you, see, now I'm proposing an idea. The other mode is one of decision making, one of saying, okay, hold on. I think let's go back to the fleet. I think go ahead and purchase the car, finalize it, and then let's immediately bring it to the insurance company. And what I want to see is what rate they're going to give us for two other ones, because we gotta. And so what I'm doing now is I'm moving into implementation. Okay, a decision needs to be implemented, and we do that all the time in personal relationships, in business relationships. We tend to go into these modes, but the problem is this: that we all like to go into those modes in different order at different times. I'm going to meet with Anthony, and I want to jump right into the things I want to propose to him. But he wants to have a little bit more, hey, where are we? And then Gerald joins us in the meeting, and he's like, what's the decision? Okay. And LaShawn comes in and goes, did y'all hear Rebecca's pregnant? Okay. So see, we all have important things to say at a meeting, and there's different modes of conversation, but we don't have a structure on how we're going to go from one to the other. So therefore, the meeting becomes difficult, and it takes a long time because we're all trying to have my discussion next.
Yeah, like you said, I think we all come into the meeting maybe anticipating one certain thing. You know, I might be anticipating, okay, let's get to the bullet points. Someone's just relaxed this morning and just wants to talk. So like you said, we come in with all different moods, but if we have an agenda that's everything's laid out and the facilitator begins and follows the agenda, then maybe we could stick to everything.
Yeah, and I also want to add that the facilitator's job to make sure that the agenda is followed and we stay on pace with it, because you're always going to have people that want to interject where they are and what they want to talk about, but the facilitator has to take charge of that meeting.
I do press companies have meetings in a more structured way, agree on a structure, agree on a flow. So let me show you the flow that I have proven for years. I'm talking about well over 20 years of doing it with multiple companies, that this is the flow that tends to work the best. At the very beginning, you have your agenda and you break it up into 4 to 6 different categories. Let me show them to you. The first section is where you're going to make quick announcements. This section should take no more than 30 to 60 seconds each. The whole section should be no more than 5 to 10 minutes of a 1-hour meeting. And if any one item takes longer, then you move it to the next section of new business. But the first one, this is where you basically say, all right, good, let's make announcements. Then the next section is items assigned. What did we assign to each other at the last meeting? And here you capture it in one-liners. You always assign it to somebody, use bullet points if necessary, take 1 to 2 minutes for each, and you have to temper your time. It's reasonable that this section here is going to be a lot longer because this is the meat and potatoes. This is very important. Everything goes back to items assigned. If you discuss anything in reports and announcements that it becomes a discussion and you assign it to somebody, it gets put in the items assigned. If you discuss anything in top projects and you assign it, and it goes into items assigned. If you discuss any new business, which you should, and you assign it, then you assign it in items assigned. Items assigned is where you're going to capture the bulk of what was decided and what was assigned. Top projects answers the question, all right, what else do we need to talk about? What other projects are we monitoring? We don't have any assignments specifically, but what other major projects are we monitoring to make sure that these do not fall off our radar? All right, then new business. New business is where we say, all right, guys, what else do we need to discuss? And you have to make sure that whenever you ask that question, you're not asking it in a let's close the meeting, but rather, hey, we still got time. You want to say something like, hey guys, all right, you see a new business, let's see what else we got. And you say it that way. Or you say, hey guys, I see nothing in new business. I don't want to leave the meeting early. We still got 12, 15, 18, 20 minutes in meeting. What other items do we need to discuss? And then give silence for folks to think about the things we need to talk about, because this is where you create a discussion about new ideas, new issues, problems, and proposals. So you leave 20 to 30 minutes of the meeting for this. Don't rush it. You put liners here with your name on it, and then you assign it. And as you have the discussion and you assign tasks, you move them over to items assigned. Then this next section is very important because these are issues that we start talking about a project. And we realize, guys, look, let's table this. Let's cover this later. So this is where you put it. We're going to discuss it later. And actually, you'll notice that I combined 5 and 6 because this is a way to capture what we're going to talk later at different times. In other words, we have a meeting next week on the 25th. We're going to put it here. Then the other topics we're going to put in the week 2 weeks from now. Then we're going to discuss these other items on the 3 weeks from now. These are your sections, okay? I'm going to show you how to use them in a second, but for now, this is your template.
When people get used to it, they know exactly what to expect. And if everybody uses it, it doesn't matter if you go and visit another branch or if someone comes and works at your branch, it'll see the same form, the same frame.
The first company that I tried this with, we had 60 offices scattered throughout Louisiana and Illinois. And all 60 offices, they were just very random. Everything was random. This is one of the first skills that we taught all branch managers. And it took a while. Imagine 60 offices in about 40 different cities, scattered through 2 states. Eventually we opened Alabama. We had 90 offices, even more. But by the time we opened up Alabama learned from the other ones because we were already building a pattern. So we had already built a pattern. But the most powerful thing was knowing that all the branch managers were having their weekly and monthly huddles and one-on-one meetings. And at any time, the supervisors, the district managers, we could go into the nodes and see what items, what ideas, what problems were being discussed. And to your point, Anthony, it was incredibly effective because everyone was using the same template. Everyone was using the same pattern. And it makes it easy to move things up the chain of command, to propose things up and down, because we know that everyone has a new business section. Everyone has an items assigned section, and we can put things on the next agenda because we know everyone's using the same templates.
Yeah, that's great. Because like I said, when you go to different branches and you visit them and you have to fill in for another manager, it's not hard, someone trying to learn your style, because you're not creating a new style and they're not having to learn a new style. It's something that's already established.
Right. And this allows for you to assign one of your team members to be the next week's facilitator, and it's repeatable because we're doing this, and then you can actually delegate leadership by teaching others how to facilitate a meeting, and then possibly you can get out of a meeting and see if they can run it themselves. And if they use the same templates, what you're doing is you're delegating, you're empowering, you're training the next leader. Hey, everybody, great job making it through this. Go to the next module. Let's get moving to the next levels. Good luck. And again, thank you for joining the program. Honored to help you.